So your car won't start. It cranks, but it doesn't want to start. So yesterday I spent a lot of time stripping the dashboard, going through some wiring, trying to figure out maybe what the alarm system was trying to do. So we're working on a Honda Accord 2007 2.4, the Type S. So stuff you need to look at when your car's not starting is obviously look at your air intake. Most of the time it's not a problem, but you can have a look in your throttle body to see if there's any blockages or anything catching, maybe an electrical device not allowing it to open and close. If it's electronic, not drive by wire. Something else that's important to check, you can always take off your covers to get to your spark plugs just underneath here. If you've got a timing light, attach it onto there, one onto your one of your what we call here bogey leads, or one of your spark leads, one onto your ground on your battery, and check that you're getting spark on all four. That's generally, if you've got spark, it's good. Another thing you can do is removing the fuel rail, fuel line here, just before the injectors. You unplug this, put it into a plastic bottle or glass bottle, whatever's easiest. Plastic bottle you can squash in here. So that's what I done. After stripping the dashboard and having a look through, I thought it was a key problem. So when I was turning the dashboard, I was getting a green light. As you can see there, that green light, it goes away. Most people have an issue where your green light flashes and then your car won't start because it thinks it's being stolen. Now I saw videos where guys are using the keys and splitting them up and taking out the little chip and rubbing it on this side of the car, because in this car it has a little box which doesn't read properly. So I split the whole dash out here, had a look at the wiring, went underneath, pulled out all the fuses out the fuse box, because you can have a look and sort out the fuses there. Another problem that the guys are finding is in your fuse box here you have relays. So you've got these black relays. There's another fourth one that sits in this little cover here. I swapped all four of these around to see if maybe it would cause a new intermittent problem and fix my current problem. Unfortunately, it wasn't that. I swapped these two relays around because they're the same, hoping that one was for the ignition system and the other was for another point. That didn't help. So, yeah, I had a look through all of these fuses. I pulled every single one individually out by using this little tool here. You pull it out, chuck it back in. None of the fuses were blown. There's no damage. I found a blown fuse inside the car, which was for the cigarette lighter, and that I replaced with a new fuse. So that should work again, but that wasn't a problem. So if you unplug the fuel line at the front by the engine and you see you're not getting fuel, you need to come back to the back of your car, underneath where your spare wheel is in the boot, or underneath your front seats. So you just got to maybe Google, check where yours is located. I pulled out my fuel pump, which is a big long system. My tank's a bit my tank is full. So this little thing on the side here has a little rubber on the inside with these two clips. As you can see, there's a clip on the inside here and there's a clip on the inside there. Now yesterday, after watching 4.5 hours of videos and stripping the car in and out, about 5 hours later I pulled this out and this guy was hanging out. So I was getting, when I turned the ignition and I felt on top of the fuel pump, I was getting the sensation that the fuel pump was priming and it was making a noise. So I nearly didn't pull this out because I thought, okay, if the fuel pump's working, it must be electronic, because I'm getting spark, I'm getting air, I'm getting fuel, but somehow I'm not getting fuel. And I thought the fuel rail that I took out, the fuel pipe, wasn't getting any petrol out the front. So from here to the front, something's wrong, because if this is priming, it means it's pushing pressure, but then it's not getting to the engine. So what's happening? So I pulled it out anyways, nice and easy. Was 3 bolts at the top just to remove this, once I removed this, pulled it to the side, you just got to unplug the main this piece that fits on top of the plug over here, and then I just removed all of these 8mm screws, and then pried this a little bit to relieve the pressure, and then I took off the fuel rail supply so that it stopped pumping with the pressure that was built up in the tank, so it didn't mess too much in the car and make a stink. And as I plugged this in, the car started. So yes, after cranking the car many times and not fixing it electronically or via air or with spark, it was actually just this little piece here that seals up the back of the pump, which allows it to suck more, or it's a non-return, or whichever it is. I'm not sure what it's called, but this popped off, stopped the car from working. Okay, so to make sure that this black piece doesn't come out again and unclip, I've secured one cable tie on the one side for the clip, same on the other side here, and then I've put a cable tie over the top to hold it in position. So hopefully that won't come out again. Hopefully the zip ties don't die from the petrol. Alright, no more problems. Reset the radio, reset the car. Everything is good. So if this helped you, leave a comment.